Masters players, they make very low risk plays. How do they do this? Right? And everyone has different mechanisms. Everyone has different ways to think about it. The way I want to share, which is a very simple way to do it, is a 4-step process. Okay? So I'm gonna write down in notes so you guys can visualize this. But pretty much, you always want to start with asking a question. Okay? What do I mean by a question? So in every single point of the game, there are so many variables, there's so many things, there's so much information on the map. Where do you focus your attention to? Right? It's very hard to know what to focus on, right? Because there's so much going on in every single game. So you ask yourself, what's next? Right? That could be a question. What's next? And you look mid, you look top, you look bot, you look at wave states, you look at conditions in the game to help you decide, okay, what's your next plan? What's your next play? A more in-depth question would be, what lane do I want to gank? Okay, then you'll look at top wave, you look at mid wave, you look at bot wave, right? These are simple questions you want to always be asking yourself from the early game to the mid game to late game, and every single point to keep helping you plan further in the game. It's not that these players are so much better than you. It's just that they're asking the right questions in their head and they're gathering the right information and they're processing it. So that brings us to the next step, which is gathering information, right? So let's give the example here. Let's say I ask a question, how close am I to my item? Okay, so what I'll do is I'll hold tab, but probably not tab right away, but I'll look at my items in the bottom right, right? I'll see, you know, how close I am, right? Let's say it's right here, and I'm looking right away, 800 gold. I'm not close to my Trinity Force at all, right? So I instantly will think that, okay, I'm not close to it at all. I need like 2k gold, right? So that's information that I've gathered, okay? After you gather this information, you process the information, okay? So I've understood that I'm 2,000 gold away from this item. So what does that mean? That means that I have to farm either about 20 camps, get kills, or just get a lot of gold for item. So my decision, critically think, and make the decision slash plan, will do not play for item right now. Think about something else, right? And that way, when I'm in this game, right, I'm looking at this exact point. I just killed someone. I look down real quick. Okay, am I close to my item? Oh, fuck no, I'm not close to my item. What's the next thing to think about? Okay, but whenever I ask this question, this whole process happens in less than 3 seconds. I think about what my question is. I look at my gold amounts. After I look at my gold amounts, I think what that means. Am I 2,000 gold away? Like, how far can I get there? Is it possible? Sometimes, let's look over here. Sometimes, I'll be even closer. Like right here, I'm 1,200 gold away. Let's say I get a few kills. How much closer am I now? Right? If I ask the same question in this case, it'll be easier to understand whether I can play for the item or not. So after I decide it's not possible to play for the item, I ask the next question. And that just keeps you going in the game, even if you're tilted, even if you're frustrated, if you don't know where to focus. This is how I look at jungle to make things simpler for people who, don't have a baseline, because it's all about consistency when trying to climb, when trying to be better at the game. Cool. So anyone have any questions about this process? Feel free, ask whatever it is. All right. So that's jungling in itself. We're going to look at more Kayn specific things, right? Kayn mechanics.
Can we ask questions?
Yeah, go for it. What do you have to?
Why is like asking how close am I to my item like the most important thing? Like, isn't there like more important things to think about than your item?
Yeah, so items in itself are a huge objective. This is the way I look at it. An objective being Dragon, Herald, Towers, Baron. An item is really important to complete to further, to make yourself stronger. And the question doesn't have to be item. It can be, can I gank bot lane? The question can be, is top wave good for me to dive? The question can be, it could go on. Like, should I path? Should I clear top to bot here? Right? It could be whatever it is. It's just to further you and think about something specific in the game, so you're not grabbing random pieces of information and thinking about things randomly. You need to be very fluid with how you're thinking. You need to have a system in mind. Does that answer your question? Or
Yeah, more or less.
cool. Anyone else? Anything? Feel free. Okay, cool. So Kain in itself, people know that. To be honest, there's not many mechanics on Kain, right? You have very very simple abilities, right? You have auto Q being the very simplest one. You always want to auto before you Q if possible. Auto Q because your auto animation gets shorter, right? So you can go auto Q and make it really fast. So if you're not doing that, make sure you're doing that, especially when you're clearing camps, right? If you're near a wall, you can do auto Q and your Q animation gets even faster. Instead of it looking like this, like how long it took, you can do it like this. It spins much faster. Okay? When you're in walls, let's say I can't make it to this wall right here. It's very far distance. If I'm queuing, it's way easier to get to the other side while you're eing in your queue. So for example, it barely makes it over. Normally, if I just regularly walk, obviously I'm not gonna make it over. It's way too far away. So for example, let's say I'm fighting this guy. I'm losing the fight. Oh no, I ult this guy. I need to ult away. I'm going to E this way and Q right away so I can run through the wall. Pretty simple Kain mechanic. People miss out on it. Making sure everyone knows is what I'm here to do. Last thing that is really simple on Kain is when you're stunned. So I'll pull up an example. When you're stunned, you can use your W. Not when you're stunned, but right before you get stunned. So this is a video of Canyon playing Kain. He's about to get stunned here because Sejuani throws his E out. So the moment he throws his E out, he is casting his W right there. Right? His W got casted when he's like right before he got stunned, which is a unique mechanic because there's only so many abilities that you can cast right before getting stunned. So imagine I'm in the middle of a fight, auto Q, I'm running away. Oh shit, I queued in the wrong way. I'm about to get stunned, and I will cast my W. Okay, and it's just extra damage. It's pretty important to keep in mind. The last thing being, when you're ulting someone, right? You will go out in the direction your cursor is, right? But if they kill the target, right, you will get thrown out right on top of their body. So I'll get thrown out right on top of them, which does not look good because you don't get the small dash you get at the end. You don't get this little dash, and it's even more important on Shadow Kain to where if you're about to kill the target, if your teammate's gonna kill the target, at least recast R so you can get the dash away. Otherwise, your character's just gonna get fucked up. You're just gonna feel really buggy. Cool. So again, let's imagine I'm clearing my raptors here, in a normal game. I don't have my item, but I'm going to go close to the wall, right? Auto and then Q, right? Auto and then Q. Sometimes, okay, I'm trapped here. Sometimes that happens. That's okay. It'll just like another auto and then Q, right? It gets my Q off much faster than normal, and you want to make sure you do that with every single camp, every single time. So even here, again, I'm going to either Q into this wall or Q into that wall. It doesn't matter which one, but it's just gonna make it a little bit faster, a little bit cleaner. Right? I choose this wall. So what I see Kain players do a lot of the time is they're queuing like this. It's about a second slower, right? It's not that big of a difference, but it adds up with all 6 of your camps, with 3 to 4 queues every single camp, probably 3 queues. It really adds up in time that you're going to be wasting. Okay, and again, to recap, people need to use your E on Kain while you're going through walls. Eventually, your Q, let's get some items, will be on such a short cooldown that you're going to be wanting to use your. Well, we can't get boots, unfortunately, guys. But you're going to be wanting to use your Q that's on, a 2.8-second cooldown, while your E is on such a long cooldown on Red Kain or Shadow Kain's not that long. But look, you're going to be wanting to use your E as many times as you can to get the distance that you wouldn't have gotten before. So, for example, this wall and this wall, I will demonstrate. If I come from here, it's very hard to make it all the way over again. I can't. It's like so close. So You can make it if you Q, boom, and now I'm over on both sides. So the last thing I want to talk about, a Kayn specific thing. Let's say I'm playing a normal game, and I start my bot side, right? I start this camp, I'm clearing this camp, blah 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 blah, right? I finish all my camps. Okay, so I finish all this. Imagine, yeah, I'll just clear it real quick, just real quick. Okay, and I'm clearing like this. I'm clearing like this. Okay, and the enemy bot lane is pushed up. So let's imagine it like this. The enemy bot lane is like this, but they have a ward right here. They dropped the ward there, right? And I just finished my Krugs, right? What you can do is Q over your Krugs, E over this wall, right? And dodge the ward entirely if this warded. Alternatively, what you could do is you could Q. Your Q is gonna be on about a 6-second cooldown when you it's level 1. You wait here, you Q again, and now you can go all the way around to dodge the vision. So this is just jungle fundamentals though. But if you can dodge vision, it's very important. And Kayn being Kayn, this gank is super OP because look at where these guys are. Look at where I am. They have no escape. People are good at doing this on Kayn, and I'm happy. The problem is, while I'm walking like this and I'm clicking like this, if these guys are moving like this and I'm moving like this, eventually I'll be behind them, right? So when you're ganking on Kayn and you are behind them, you want to stay behind them. I don't have a bot to demonstrate this, but pretty much if they move here, I'm still right here. And if they move here, I'm still right here. So you don't want to ever queue this way. Almost ever. Because in the time I'm queuing this way, they're going to be running that way. Right? So what you can do is you can either queue like queue to the side. That's one. You can go behind them and queue this way to dash. You never want to use your Q unless you're gonna kill them, because they'll run away like in this direction, right? Cool. Anyone have any questions about Kayn in general? Um, Fog about how to dodge division with Kayn. Cool.
So in that last specific instance, like you said, hold that Q. You want to just walk at them and like start autoing them, and then like Q is like to keep up with them and like get ahead.
That's
of them
right.
again.
Your Q is to deal the damage and keep up with them. So what I would be doing is I would auto and click that way. You see how fast I'm able to click?
Yeah.
And that brings me to the next point, actually. Thank you. That your cursor wants to be close to your character. I see people trying to click like this. It's so hard to control your character. It feels terrible when you're clicking so far away from yourself. I don't even blame you if you can't control your character. The same thing with landing your W. Look, it's harder to land this. I don't really know where it's gonna go. Like realistically, it's kind of hard. If I hover my cursor right at the bottom of their torso area, it will almost always be in the center of their character, right? If I aim at their head, it's gonna be a little bit different, right? Aiming at their head is hard. Aiming at the hitbox or the HP bar obviously not gonna work. Aiming too low to the feet has a better chance of hitting than above them, and that's just how hitboxes work in general. But what you want to be doing is, because you want your cursor close to your character, you don't want to W all the way over here, because then you have to click here to here. It's so hard to click. I'm not playing Osu over here. I just want to keep my cursor close to myself, and it's nice and simple. I can control my character so easily when I do this. And it's less important on a champion like Kayn. For sure, you only have one skill shot. Q not really counting. But just in general, you play the game, you want to make sure your clicks are accurate. And the question of, yes, so you want to be kiting backwards. As I hit him, I want to go back. As I hit him, I want to go back. So let's say he's here now, I'm clicking, I'm going back. He's here now, I'm clicking, I'm going back. Here now, I'm going back. And then he gets in front of me somehow because he has a ghost something, a heal going. Now I auto Q. And then I keep hitting him. I keep hitting him auto Q, and then I leave if Q comes up for some reason.
So you would rather just keep using the auto attacks than
Yes.
and just save the Q.
Yes, unless he's low or unless I land my W. So for example, I auto W because that's also counts, and then he's walking like here, and then I'm behind him already. If you're already behind them, it's okay to use your auto Q to gain distance, deal damage. But generally speaking, your Q early game, if I reset the game really quickly, it's going to be a very long cooldown. It's 7 seconds level 1. It's very long. So you're going to want to make sure you maximize your Q damage. You only get 1 Q in a fight realistically. Cool. So we're going to think about, I think this wall is jumpable. Not that it's that useful because you have your E. Okay, maybe not. Maybe I tricked you guys. I swear this wall was jumpable in my time. Okay. Well, don't come to me. Not that that is that useful, but some champs can go through these walls. You're playing Kayn, you can E over it. I guess the one wall that is interesting to think about is there's this wall, obviously. There's thick wall right here. That wall doesn't really count. There's this wall right here. This wall will get you trapped if you don't go at a good angle. Let me think what else. Everything else is pretty self-explanatory, honestly. There's just some thicker walls you can go. I think if you really practice, there is a way to do this. I didn't come prepared. But generally speaking, you almost never want to use your E while you're clearing your camps if you're able to gank, because your E is on a 21-second cooldown, right? And it doesn't get lower with leveling it. So early game, let's say I'm clearing my camps, right? I don't want to use my E. I don't want to use my E to okay, so after I use my E here, this is fine. I don't want to use my E after I clear this camp right here, right? Because then I want to have my E to gank bot lane. So let's say this is warded, right? Like we talked about earlier, and these guys are pushed up this far, right? They're going to see you come if you E like this. But the thing about your E on Kayn is you gain 40% move speed, right? So you can catch up to the enemies if they're that far up. But generally speaking, what I almost always do is if that's warded, right? This is playing with fog. I will Q here, I will E over like this, and I will just play it this way. Dodging the enemy vision is so important, and on Kayn, you can almost always dodge every single ward. Even if this is warded. That's an enemy ward, imagine, right? I want to dodge it like this, and I want to E on this wall. You could even, right? Because you could even, because potentially the enemy jungler could be here. You could Q this wall, and now you won't get spotted, and E over this wall, and be behind them again. Right, and the same thing goes for topside. Cool. Any questions about Kayn? Otherwise, we're going to move on. All right. Okay, so I want to take a look at Kayn items. Right? There's a lot of text here. It's not that complicated. Many people ask, what do I buy when, like, what's an ideal back on Kayn? An ideal back on blue Kayn, 1500 gold. If you can somehow magically get 1500 gold out of your pocket, get a tier and a Dirk, you're in an amazing game. If you can get anywhere from 1050 gold to this range, you're in a happy game. A tier and a longsword is fine. Don't get me wrong. But a tier boot and a longsword is a very, like, consistent, good back. Okay? Tier or no tier, right? Which one is better? There's no real good answer, if I'm going to be honest. A lot of this game in League of Legends is what you like to do. Tier scales better when you complete your Manamune. No tier scales faster because you get this faster, and you get your second item, which is a lot more damage than this when it's not scaled. So you hit the power spike at around 20 minutes, I would say, in a normal game. You hit a power spike at around 15 minutes here. So if you want to snowball a game, no tier is pretty good because you hit your items much faster. You hit your items 400 gold faster here. Your second item is just stronger, right? But generally speaking, these are your backs. These are your boots. So Ionian on Shadow Kayn is really good. You normally never want defensive boots. It doesn't really matter. The reason why Shadow Kayn is so good in general is because your ult literally destroys people, right? So what I see a lot of Kayn players do is when they're fighting, they don't utilize their ult. You need to use your ult to avoid damage from the enemy, right? You need to use your ult to dodge abilities, to catch up to people, but you need to stay alive on Shadow Kayn, which is why in my time when I'm against really heavy CC enemy champions, I love Edge of Night. He gives you HP, it gives you the shield, and it's just a very powerful item. So sometimes, if I were to go Duskblade, Manamune, or Duskblade, Streldas, my third item could be Edge of Night, right? Alternatively, a normal game would look like Duskblade number 1, Streldas number 2, Axiomark number 3. But if you want defensive stats, Edge of Night is your go-to item. Your fifth item could be Guardian's Angel. Any questions about items?
Yeah, cause do you not use the boots rune on Kane? Cause normally like I use the boots rune for like 10 minute 50.
Do you on both canes you use the runes? Those runes? Or?
No, just blue, just blue, just blue.
Okay, so blue cane runes, right? I actually forgot I have a page on this, but blue cane runes for what I like runes looking like on blue cane is two things. You're either going Dark Harvest or First Strike, right? So I'm guessing you're using First Strike or no.
Yeah.
So if you're using First Strike rune, your rune set's probably looking at something like First Strike, Magical Footwear, Futures, Cosmic, right? And then the second
Mhm.
one would be Sorcery or Domination, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So pretty much the way I see Shadowcane is First Strike is a good scaling rune if you're going tier, right? But
Mhm.
normally First Strike doesn't scale that well until later on into the game, right? Which is why I just think Dark Harvest, in general, the damage you get from Dark Harvest is just too valuable. Also, you're getting a lot of gold from Treasure Hunter if you go Treasure Hunter. Alternatively, you can go Relentless Hunter for more move speed. And realistically, this tree right here is just very powerful in general. These three things right here. Actually,
Mhm.
all of these things are pretty good. Tier is good for Ingenious, right? This is good for gold, right? If you just want gold. This is good for MS if you're like killing everyone, and this is good to like 1v9 pretty much. I like Ultimate Hunter to 1v9. Right? Okay, ignore my handwriting, I'm sorry. But pretty much my rune page is what I would do is I'll go Dark Harvest, Sudden Impact, Eyeball, like this one or if I normally don't go tier, so either Treasure or Relentless. And then my third and fourth runes would be Transcendence and Gathering Storm. Right? So this will be my scaling instead of going like a mana rune. Alternatively, you can go these two. You can go Celerity and Water Walking if you want to be fast. If you want to go Relentless, Celerity, Water Walking combos with each other very well. And
Mhm.
if you feel like you're running out of mana on Kane, I have experimented with Mana Flowband. It's kind of like it saves you gold realistically. If you don't think Gathering Storm is that good, you don't think Transcendence is that good. What I've done in the past is I've gone Mana Flow and then Transcendence. So it's an option at the end of the day.
Okay. So you're basically just saying just go Dark Harvest instead of First Strike.
Yeah, unless you really enjoy First Strike, again, like I said, like it's really preference at the end of the day.
Mhm.
Like not one is not so much better than the other. If you like First Strike, keep going First Strike. There's no problem. It's just your first spec your first spec variation looks a little bit different. That's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool. Any other questions about
Why wouldn't you
Shadowking?
choose as go Inspiration second if you go Dark Harvest?
Okay, so Dark Harvest and Inspiration, and what would you want to take an Inspiration rune?
Boots and Futurist Market.
Okay, so you want to go Boots and Futures. Okay, so the reason why it's less optimal to go Inspiration just in general, I would say, is because the value you get from any of these ords and any of these runes and sorcery are really good for scaling. For example, this literally gives you flat like damage, like AD damage. This gives you CDR that you normally wouldn't be able to get. The problem with Magical Footwear and Futures is they're they actually put you behind if for some reason you die on 300 gold or you have a 300 gold and you can't buy boots, right? So it's really unfortunate if you can't buy boots. And alternatively, if you keep abusing futures, you're going to be down gold. And the only time where I enjoy futures market is if I'm going the first strike rune page, first strike, and then something from domination. So if you like the inspiration tree, I would go the first strike tree, and I would pretty much this would be my runes. These and then treasure hunter and eyeball. If you really want to like maximize your gold usage, you want futures, you want first strike, and you want relentless or treasure hunter. Cool. Any other questions? Again, though, it is preference, right? If you like Magical Footwear and Futures second better, go for it, bro. If you want to try what I recommended, that's also, try it. If you don't like it, that's completely fine. You do what works for you. The problem is, if it's not working for you, you should try different things. Okay, we're gonna go to look at Red Cane. Red Cane is pretty linear, right? If you know you're going Red Cane, you're almost always going Gold Drinker and Black Cleaver first two items. Okay, and your early game backs pretty simple too. So one thing that's not utilized as much as it should be is Ruby Crystal early game. Okay, so you can see here I have Ruby Crystal written again, but pretty much, you have two options, right? With 750 gold, you can still buy two longswords, but Ruby Crystal gives you so much stats in a fight. It allows you to use your Q, possibly an extra time. It allows you to, it's just live longer. Living longer is so powerful, especially in early game skirmishes. So if you can, what I would do is after Iron Spike Whip, I like going Ruby Crystal into possibly Kindle Gem. I even like going Ruby Crystal, or I even like going Iron Spike Whip, Ruby Crystal, double longsword, and then going and finishing my my longsword item. But let's look at Gold Drinker real quick, and I'll show you the stats
If you
on
have
Gold Drinker.
if you have 800 gold, do you just go Kindle Gem and say fuck the damage, or?
So level one, like on your first back.
Correct, yeah.
Yeah, no, I would never do that because you always want to have damage to clear. The only time I would do that is if you're playing like competitive higher elo games. But because pretty much Kindle Gem gives you 200 health, right? 10 ability haste, but a Ruby Crystal gives you 150. So you're spending 400 gold for 50 HP and 10 haste. It's not worth it.
That makes sense.
Sitting on one Ruby Crystal is much better than buying the Kindle Gem.
And I don't think I've ever first back with 800 gold anyways. It's like an awkward amount to have a first back, but you never know.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Third, fourth, fifth item. They have heavy magic damage, Spirit of Visitors. They have heavy 80 damage, Death Stance. If they have like a mix of both, and they're kind of gonna like one shot you, like assassins, like maybe like Vagar's not an assassin, but Vagar, Zed, Karthus even. Like Sterak's is pretty good, pretty solid item. And then your fourth item should just be like one of these. Okay? And then GA is always a really good item, but you can just literally build 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then call it a day. And your boots, you always want to think about boots on Red Cane, because if you're the main frontline, you need to buy defensive boots. If you're not the main frontline, let's say you have one other tank with you, you can go Ionian and deal more damage in the fight. Because Kane's a bruiser, he can do damage. Kane's not just a full tank. So that's the way I look at boots. Alright, any questions about Red Cane? Because there's not much about Red Cane, honestly. He's just chilling. Okay. One thing I want to backtrack to is about Blue Cane. Blue Cane, when I've looked at counts recently, when I used to see players in general, Blue Cane is just the better form overall. Even if they have a lot of tanks. Unless it's like a super god Red Cane angle game, Blue Cane is just better because of your E cooldown. Alternatively, what you can do is if you like Red Cane, you can build Blue Cane with like Red Cane items. And it's actually not that bad. So what you can do is you can build Blue Cane, go Black Cleaver, go go Duskblade, then go Black Cleaver, then go like Edge of Night, and build tanky items. Because let me show you guys. LoL Wiki, Edge of Night. Edge of Night actually gives you almost more HP. It gives you 325 HP. I think it might give you more HP than it might give you more HP than Black Cleaver, or almost as much. Black Cleaver is 400. So like, look, you think this item actually doesn't give you that much gold, or that much HP, but it actually gives you a lot. It almost gives you the same amount as Black Cleaver, right? So imagine you build Edge of Night and Black Cleaver, you get 50 attack damage on both, right? A shit ton of HP, and you're still playing Shadow Cane. But the most important thing is your E on Shadow Cane, the cooldown is so low that you can just like travel the map so fast, which is why a lot of people go Shadow Cane, especially in high elos, because you can pick off the inters, you can just travel the map faster, and you can have more impact everywhere. Cool. Okay. So, that's just my general thoughts on Kayn, Kayn's items, Kayn's runes, which form is better. We talked about jungle fundamentals, and from here, we're going to look at a game where Canyon does a path that is pretty common on Kayn, I would say. He did 3 camps, and then you'll see what he does after. It's pretty simple, but he does his Raptor start. Right, he doesn't queue into the wall. I mean he doesn't. I assure you he probably doesn't play enough Kayn to know. There he did it. So that's good. But the point is not to critique his clear, but it's to see what he does after he clears his whole top side. Right. So after he does a full a top side clear to hit level 3. Look at how he's playing. Just walking in general. He's walking like this to make sure that if someone if he walks down, if the enemy top laner walks down, he's not spotted, right? And what he's gonna do is he's gonna walk through here and ult and go behind him, or sorry, not ult. He's gonna E and go behind them. Right? He did it. He did it a little bit, but and then again with the Q thing we talked about earlier, he's queuing never that way, but this way. And I'll slow it down. Cool. So that's some early game Kayn jungle decision. So this path and full clearing are the 2 options I'd say Kayn mains do most. So if you're blue side, it's Raptors, red, Krugs, bot gank, right? If you're full clearing, it's gonna be Raptors, Krugs, red, Wolves, Grump, blue, Crab, bot side, right? So there's 2 ways I see Kayn being played, and I think it's like either one of those. If you're doing something else in between, I don't think you're playing the game correctly, or the champ correctly is a better way to put it. What I mean by that is, let's say you do, let's say you do this. So I'll write it like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, top gank. It's very bad to do something like this on Kayn. If you're not ganking the same quadrant after you cleared, you're like your clear is going to be suboptimal and your gank is going to be suboptimal. So what I wouldn't recommend is clearing these 3 camps and then ganking top. Or for example, clearing these 3 camps and then ganking bot. That's suboptimal because Raptors, Krugs, red buff, right? And in any of these orders, these 3 camps are so powerful on Kayn. Red buff is just good in general for the healing, for the slow. Raptors is really good, and Krugs is really good because of how fast you clear them. How fast you clear them and how easy it is to clear them. So if I'm ever starting blue buff, right, what I'm going to do is I'm always going to full clear. I'm never not ganking. I'm never ganking if I'm starting my blue buff. The only time I think it is okay to gank is if you clear your blue side. So we'll write it out again. 1, 2, 3, and then you gank bot right away, and then you fall back to camps. So you're never going out. You're never going like out of order, and you're never ganking top right here. In general, Raptors is the most contested camp in the game, so making sure you have your Raptors off the map is way too important. Okay, so you come into game and you look and you decide, okay, I want to do 3 camp into bot. 1, 2, 3 into bot. So we discussed how going like this is better if they have a ward. Even if they don't have a ward, and let's say they're positioned like this, you don't want to come like this, no, because they'll just run away. You still want to walk like this and go behind them. Right? It takes a lot longer to get there, but it makes the gank a lot better. So if they are, especially if they're like walked up like this, if you walk through like this, they still have a lot of time to walk away. So it's always better to invest time in playing these walls to make your gank better. Alternatively, what you could do is you can clear your Raptors, clear your Krugs, clear your red buff, and you're closer to this wall to Q, and then you have E to use right here. The last thing you could do that a lot of people miss is you don't have to set your Raptors. You can set red buff, you can do Krugs, you can do your Raptors, and you can still look for this play. The problem with this path in general is if this bot gank doesn't go well, and their jungler goes ahead and invades you, you're in a really fucked up situation, right? The thing about lower elos though is people will die to ganks, and people will not see the invade punish, right? And that's where I think as long as you stay true to the style you're playing of Kayn, so that means you either full clear or you either like ganking after third camp, full clear, full clear or gank after third camp. You either full clear or you're ganking after third camp. Either way, you want to stay and keep that style consistent because you don't want to like it's just hard to play the game differently so many times. You don't want to keep switching things up pretty much. When I hit challenger for the first time as a Kayn one trick, what I did was I 3-camp gank bot every single game. Alternatively, what I did on Kayn was I late invaded every single game. What I would do as a Kayn main is I'm blue side, blah 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 blah. I'm running through here. It's level 1, so the enemy jungler is walking out through here. Right, and junglers don't let me sit here. What I would do almost every single game is I would go here, queue over the wall, sit here, collect information, decide if I want to tell my whole team to jump on this guy, or just late invade him. I literally don't understand why people think Kayn is so weak early. Your Q on Kayn and Conqueror, just I mean most rune pages just Kayn's damage in general is so powerful, especially level 1. Maybe level 2, level 3, yeah, his abilities are weaker, but level 1, you're one of the strongest champions. So on red side, what I would do is I would do literally the same thing. I would run like this and queue over this wall and get information. Get information and light invade either Raptors. Every single game. That's how I kind of cheesed LP to get to Challenger. Alternatively, if I felt like it was like they know I play like this or they know I'm going to invade, what I would do is I would do 3-camp, gank bot. Every single game. And I learned how to maximize that playstyle. I learned how to play in that playstyle like the best way I could possibly do it. So eventually I started realizing, maybe Kayn's better at farming. And when I was learning how to do it that way, I just kept farming. I did not switch in between. Like, it's going to be really hard to learn the game if you play like that. Cool. Questions? If not, I'll discuss ganking and we'll move on to the VOD we were provided with. Alright, so ganking after your third cap, right? Ganking in general, what you want to be focused on is the wave. So what do I mean by the wave? This wave right here, this is not a good example. Let's look at, okay, let's just draw it out. So let's say there's 3 blue side minions here, right? There's 5 red side minions here. As the red side, the position should look like this, right? As the red side, what you need to do is crash and kill these minions and crash the wave, right? So if I'm blue side's jungler, I am playing to gank bot lane because I know that these guys have to kill these minions. So I'll ask myself, is bot lane gankable? I'll see they have to kill these minions. I'll tell myself, oh yes, it is. I'll do my path that we discussed, and I'll go behind them and I'll kill them. Even if I don't kill them, what'll happen is this wave will freeze for blue side, right? And it'll be winning no matter what. Pretty much anytime you want to gank, you always want to get something from it. Flashes, not thinking about kills. Flashes, conditions, good wave states. Maybe you burn their ultimates. All of that is fine to get away from the enemies. You don't want to focus on kills, okay? Getting kills on Kayn is very good. It's very necessary. You need gold on Kayn. But if you're playing the game in general, focused on kills, focused on chasing people, focused on, just like killing everyone, you're not going to be playing the game optimally. It's going to be a very suboptimal League of Legends game. So focus on thinking about the waves. So let's draw another wave state out. Let's say, same thing, 1, 2, 3, We move this guy back. We move this guy forward. This guy has 1, 2, 3. What's going to happen in a minute if neither laner touches the wave? Anyone wants to answer? If not, I'll say it in a few seconds. Just think about it. If both of these laners disappear, what's going to happen to this mid wave?
It's gonna push out towards red side, right? Because the minions are riding
Yep.
faster.
Exactly. The minions are going to stack here and go into their side, right? So the way I think about waves is every time I look at a wave and I review, I imagine a world where literally both laners DC and what would happen to the wave in a minute, right? Because in a perfect world, both laners are even. When this laner has the wave advantage like this, when the wave is now going to stack to being 6 minions and 3 minions, and then they have no minions like this guy's going to get pushed no matter what, right? This guy's going to be able to crash the wave no matter what, right? That's the way I like looking at the wave. So that tells me that in a minute or less, I can make a play with my mid laner because he's crashing the wave. Additionally, this tells their jungler that he has an opportunity to gank. If I counter gank this in this way, it'll be insane. So let's say I'm playing I'm blue side's jungler here. I'm looking at ball wave, and I'm this guy. I'm sitting in this bush because I know my laner has to crash. Well, I did the wrong color, but my laner has to crash. We're low on conditions, so let's say we're half HP, half HP. These guys are half HP, half HP, but they can die, right? And the jungler's sitting there, and you gank, and you go la 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 la, right? It's gonna look very ugly. So just keep in mind that very good players will understand this. That's why I'm trying to teach you to be this jungler on the red side, because this is what everyone's looking at. Or sorry, that's not what everyone's looking at. This is what your laners are looking at. The fucking wave. You need to be on the same page as them and try to understand what's going on with the wave as well. That's ganking. Cool. Last thing I want to touch up on is weak side and strong side. You probably heard the word. Probably unsure what it means. Honestly, it's a pretty confusing concept. But weak side means there's a lane that you don't want to interact with if you can avoid it. Normally, top lane is the weak side. Normally, bot lane is the strong side. What that means is, let's picture it from blue side. These camps are your weak side, and these camps are your strong side. That's how I want you to think about weak side and strong side. So this guy is your weak side. This guy is your strong side. Mid lane is always like even, right? But you can strong side towards mid as well. It's less optimal. But that would mean that these are your weak side camps. Alternatively, if top is your strong side and bot is your weak side, these are your weak side camps. The reason why that's important to understand is because you don't want to invest time in top lane if this guy's are your strong side. If this guy's your weak side and this guy's your strong side, don't invest time up here. It's not worth it. What you want to do is clear your camps, your weak side camps, go and make a play bot side, and then fall back into your strong side camps. And the reason why this is really good, a really good principle, a really good habit, is because their jungler, if you just like run from bot to your strong side, let's say all of your camps are up, and the enemy jungler acknowledges that, hey, my bot lane is weaker than the enemy bot lane, so I'm not going to do anything. And their jungler thinks that his top is the strong side, and he clears his weak side, so this camp is gone, this camp is gone, this camp is up, this camp is up. What's going to happen is he's already cleared one quadrant, right? He's going to invade your other quadrant, and he can defend his own quadrant right here. So he's cleared 3 quadrants in the time you've cleared 0 quadrants, and you've like possibly coin flipped a kill or something. So before you spam gank, just clear 1 quadrant, and normally it's your weak side quadrant. If it's not your weak side quadrant, that's fine. Let's say you walk from base, these camps are up, these camps are up as well, but you clear this, and then you gank bot. That's still better than skipping all your camps. So at the very least, do me this favor. If you are going to spam gank, clear 2 camps and then gank. Clear these 2 camps and then gank. Ideally, your weak side into your strong side. Right? It's cooler on red side because your Krugs and your Raptors, like we said, are yummier to eat. But the thing is, after you make your after you clear your weak side, you make your strong side play. You fall back into your strong side camps. You eat them up. It's really good. And then you recall right away, and you make it back up here. And the thing is, these camps spawn every 2 minutes, right? So you want to make sure that every 2 minutes you're back to your weak side, like as they spawn. So let's say you just started the game. You're doing Blue Grump Wolves on Kayn. It's not optimal, but you're doing Blue Grump Wolves. Fine, let's make it even more optimal. You're on red side. You did red Krugs Raptors. This camp right here is going to spawn at 410. You want to make it to Gromp at 410. Just keep in mind, every time you clear camp, it'll respawn in 2 minutes, and you want to make it to that camp right as it spawns. In the perfect world, that's what's happening. If you're doing objectives, if you're doing crabs, if you're doing like dive, gank, you need to decide whether that's worth it or not, because you have a goal, and it's to make it back to this camp at this timer. And that's just a regular jungle fundamental rule. I'm not saying you have to live by it, but it's just a good way to think about what tempo means in a way where like you're racing against the clock to make it to these timers. Every 2 minutes, your camp will respawn. Go. Any thoughts? Any questions? Otherwise, we're gonna look at this VOD and go from there. Cool. All right, so we have. All right, so every game, what you should do is look at champs. You have a Garen with Ignite, Singed with Ghost, Jarvan. You see his runes, so we're going red Kayn this game, right? You have Rise into Zed, right? Zed has Ignite, right? So I'm just collecting all this information from in my head. We have Ghost, we have Healed, so they have like somewhat defensive summoner spells, scaling summoner spells. We're playing Morgana Caitlyn, right? They want to push. Jinx can try and match the push, right? She's a range champion, so it's kind of equal in the bot lane. I'll just do this. Mid lane, it's Rise versus Zed, so Rise has the push. Garen versus Singed. I would probably give it to Singed. Okay, jungle 1v1. I would say it's less optimal for Kayn. So it's less big of a line, but like it's kind of Jarvan favored until we get items, until we get form. Okay, so the one lane that has prio is top lane, but top lane doesn't need attention, right? So the way I look at jungle is one, priorities. So what we just did was we thought about priorities. Two, you think about who needs to be aggressive and who's trying to be defensive. So I talked about Ignite. Ignite is a sign of aggression, right? Exhaust is a sign of being defensive, right? And lastly, which lanes are volatile? Realistically, top lane's not going to be volatile. No, nothing's going to happen much here. What's going to happen is this bot side, your Caitlyn and your Morgana are trying to push the whole game. They want to, at least. Jinx might be able to neutralize them, but they want to push. So this game, I would path bot lane, right? And you want to be doing this similar process every single game. So also, additionally, I would prefer Shadow Kayn in this game. These guys are not that tanky. These guys are all ranged. Like I talked about earlier, Shadow Kayn is better, in my opinion. Okay, so we're pathing down. So again, what you should do is you should auto here and then Q into the wall. Right? You might miss like one hit on that guy, but it's actually worth it. It's actually like fine. It's okay. This is getting you closer to the wall. It's fine. Yeah, I don't mind this. It's fine. Q into the wall. Good. Q into the wall. Saving Q. This is good. Don't go back for that. Good. Okay. So one thing that'll help you not mess this up, because many people do. I mess it up. Is there's like a little range right here, right? It's like a circle, but you just want to stand like a little bit closer, like just a little bit. But you're doing a good job cutting camps and everything. I won't be too hard on that. So from here, you want to queue into the wall, right? You want to queue into this wall again, right here. Just like really small optimizations, but it's okay. It's okay. You almost made it. We're full clearing. Okay, so someone died. It's your top laner that died. He's proxying. It's fine. Your bot lane got kill. right? So just collecting information. Jarvan showed up bot lane, so the moment this guy shows bot lane, what I would do is I would hold tab and see how much CS he has, right? You doesn't even see like you see Jarvan here. I would smite this and run straight to bot. Right, so we looked, and it looked like that guy did not have red buff. If for the small time you saw him, maybe he does, but he's level 3. That means that one of his camps are up, right? You hit level 4 by clearing all your camps. He's level 3, so I think he has red buff, but that should mean his Krugs are up, and that's a camp that you can go and invade because of how low he is. So bot's winning hard. Okay, this is good. Good. You see that he's level. You see his level 3. You make the judgment call. Flash auto. Oh, let's try. Get the camp. This is fine. Like, I don't mind what you did here. Staying on the map here is where I would call it a bad play, right? What you want to do is you want to, drop your ward here, sit in this bush and recall. Going from here to here is very, suboptimal. You want to recall, buy your items, spend your gold, and then go to your Krugs, to your Raptors, to your bot side. Okay, it's a pretty chill game. So pretty much what I'm lacking right now throughout this entire game is I haven't seen you collect information like at all. I haven't seen you look at lanes. I haven't seen you like it doesn't. It seems like the only thing you're focused on is clearing your camps, and that's okay. Don't get me wrong, but you want to try and expand the information you have in the game. You want to learn more about what's going on in the game. Every game is different, so you need to learn more about what's going on. Okay, your teammates are moving with you, so you can pull this. It's fine. You use the smite on the Gromp here, right? Which is like you only ever want to use a smite on your Krugs, which is what you do here. You always want to hold a smite for an objective, just in case there's a chance like this right here, because there's no urgency to clear this fast. The 600 damage is just 1 Q. It doesn't change anything here. Cool. So the game is good. We got an objective. We're going back to our camps. The game is really good right now, right? Here's where things okay. So this is a level 1 crab, and it's fine. I actually thought it was level 2 crab too. The level 1 crab is worthless. Okay, so don't actually go for level 1 crab if you knew. Otherwise, at this point, invading right here, you have level 6 advantage. It's something I don't mind. You saw him use both of his abilities, so that's the moment I'm going in. Okay, you went in a little bit later, but that's fine. If you want to play for kill here, oh shit, you got jumps up here, so it's okay. It's okay, not bad decision to flash after that. Okay, try to kill the wall. Nice. Okay, so you played this whole sequence decently well. One thing I will say is, like we talked about for positioning, look at how you queued, right? You queued like this. You would want to walk like this, because he's running this way, or this way, or this way, right? And then queue, because you queuing so early makes you lose value from your move speed from here. So you want to make sure you're like closer to him to land your Q damage. You maximize your dash, and just be closer. But at this point, if I really want to kill this guy, I know he has no flash. Maybe he does though. Is you can flash auto smite R and then kill him with your Q. But just generally speaking, you've won jungle in this position. I think his Gromp is up too. His Gromp and his wolves are up. So you want to just leave this guy alone and go do the blue buff. You live at the end of the day, so it's good on you to be able to live. But your invade was really good. Okay, really good job. You just chased him. When you won the game for yourself, the game is completely won. It's over. You take this camp. You take Herald. GG. GG.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I ended up losing this too.
Oh shit. You're in such a good position too. Fuck.
This is like gold 4 right now.
Gotcha. Okay, so yeah, no, there's nothing you can do here. I was gonna think about Herald, but there's nothing you can do. Okay, so you do bot camps here. Okay, there's a mid fight. Sure. So what I'm looking at this mid fight is okay. So Jarvan showed up, Morgana's mid. So being here is as long as you're aware that that these guys, Ryze and Jarvan, can literally leave right now. As long as you're aware that you could unironically get nothing from this play, like as long as you think that hey, like maybe I will get something for sure. It's a good play. Maybe you'll eat the wave is what I'm thinking about. So you'll eat the wave, and then afterwards you'll have mid prio, so then you can get the bot crab. That's what I'm thinking about. I actually don't care about these guys getting killed or anything. That's not what I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about the wave, and I'm thinking about the next objective to take. I crab kind of counts. Cool, nice Q. This looks pretty good. I'll ult him here. Okay. What you could do here is hold your ult, and what'll happen is you ult this way, you Q up, and you E down from this wall, right? But you need to wait like 1 second for your Q, and you would have lived because you have Triumph and
Yeah, that
your
makes
E healing.
sense. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. But overall, if you're not gonna play for this kill, even if it's the 1-for-1, don't ult like that.
Yeah, okay.
Because I think if you kill him, you would have gotten your form if you just went for 1-for-1. That's why Kane's a unique champ because he kind of breaks some rules of fundamentals. Like you almost never want a one for one as jungle. But Kane kind of
If you're
breaks
getting
that
your
because
if
you
you're
get
getting your
form.
form for it, yeah, it's
Yeah,
worth.
yeah.
Yeah.
Same thing. Same with kind of Kindred because she can get arcs and it's pretty OP. Okay, so we're clearing these two camps. So you went in the wrong order here, is what I would say. Right? You want to do this crab first. Why? Because right now these guys have prio. When you go for the actual crab, they don't have prio.
That makes
Or
sense.
your mid lane doesn't have prio at least, but your bot lane maintained it, but your mid lane doesn't. So if the Ryze wanted to, he can run straight to you and like make your life miserable. Another thing is you're really close to your item. You're about 50 gold off, I think. So just play for your item. I don't know what all this skirmishing is. It's kind of pointless. So again, like you're kind of just being pulled around to random fights here. That like even if this Morgana died, like I actually like I just don't care. Like just let her die. Go get your item. If they come to you, if they walk too far and you fight them and you win, sure, good. But you're gonna be up like 30, 40 CS on this Jarvan because of how much inting he's doing. Just farm your camps,
So is it not worth
get your
though?
item.
In this game, my thought process wasn't that like I was trying to save Morgana. I was like, I'm so close to form. All I have to do is like land a Q on Jarvan, and I have it, and I can just walk away.
Oh, no, I see. Okay, yeah, no, I see.
Yeah, I think that's what I was going for. Is just like
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
care about
yeah.
kills. I don't care about anything. I literally queue to try and get form, and then I think I just like kind of slow play it and walk away.
Okay, no, you're right. Sorry, it's this is a Kane thing. But again, normally speaking, you actually like wasted time, roughly.
Yeah.
But for the most part, yes, you're getting form, go do it. You're right about that. Okay, recall, you have Gold Trigger now, but transform into form. Perfect. Okay, cool. Okay, so you have your form. It's about 12 minutes. You have item. This is where your camps mean less, but don't think it means nothing. One camp is equal to one wave, right? So you want to clear the objectives you can take. So for example, your top lane is not doing too great, but your bot lane is doing great. They broke a full fucking turret. So get this dragon and then go clear as many camps as you can, and then make plays. So something I emphasized in the session, and then like the fundamental session a second ago, was you always want to prioritize your like one quadrant. You always want to clear one quadrant. Like almost always. It's so important to clear a quadrant, right? So um, after you do an objective, you want to clear as much as you can. This is good. You're waiting. Um, this is where I feel like your attention is onto the wrong thing. The people who are winning this game for you are Caitlyn and Morgana, not your Cinch. So you don't even want to be in the top side. The only time I would want to be in the top side is if um Caitlyn is up here, right? Caitlyn's not up here, so I don't really like anything that's happening right now. Right here, it's a very like neat flash W angle. You could have gotten both. You flash and then W, right? Ryze could dodge it, but you could at least kill one of them. Otherwise, from this point, you just want to get the fuck out of here. And um, yeah, it's pretty sad because you got a Drake earlier, and you want both dragons. You have item, and you're kind of losing everyone on the map. Your cannon's about to die too. Fuck. Okay. This is fine. Not really. So everything that happened up to here It's a problem caused from right here. What you should do is okay. There's two options you can do. You're strong. You can spam ping your bot lane to come do the dragon. Oh, two, you do this crab, and you go do raptors, and then you go back to do the dragon, right? And you just want to be where Caitlyn is, and you want to like ping Morgana to come help the Caitlyn. At the end of the day, you just want to be interacting with your Caitlyn. No one else on your team is strong, so that's how you can fix your mid game without overcomplicating mid game. Focus objectives and play with the teammate that's strong. Not your Morgana just running around the map fighting everything he can. Your Zed gotten solo killed once or something. Like he's down a level. Caitlyn, on the other hand, she broke a full turret by like not by herself with Morgana, and you were there here and there. So okay, so we're farming a bit here. This is not bad. This is a good jungle item completion time. 15 minutes is a good time frame. So one thing here, just fighting, is you auto here, and look at how slow it takes. Look at how long it takes you to queue. I'll play it even slower so you can see it. I can see it really clearly, but look at how long it takes you to queue. Your queue is up now, right? Let's look. Right, it's not long. It's about half a second, maybe 0.75 seconds. But that's almost a full second of like you not using your Q. Plus, you could have comboed your Q with your auto animation. Nice W. Okay, it's fine. It's good. Just leave. Yeah, that's fine. Nice. See, this is what I'm talking about. This is really good. Some people will get really like horny for this Jarvan. Like they'll really want to kill him. What you did is perfect. You literally just left, and you low-key you mind control this guy by just leaving. I'm sure you kill this guy. But what you do is great here. Getting his flash is fine. As well, okay. Never mind. You got mind control at the end.
I didn't fucking R missed a million
Yeah.
chances to R.
Yeah.
I thought I could kill him without Ring. I think I just got greedy.
Yeah. So the thing is, if you just smite him and kill him, you heal and then you'll live with your E. That's the thing about Kayn is like you can always kill someone and then just like walk through a wall and like piss everyone off. But just to emphasize what happened here is you lived. You're not playing for this kill. You're not trying to flash on this guy or anything. He ints. He goes on top of you. You have an opportunity to kill him. What you should always do here is auto W, right? So that's the first mistake. You auto W. You W without autoing. You Q auto, it's a little bit slow. You Gore Drinker, you should just ult this guy. When he's this low HP, you should just ult this guy. Right? It happened a little bit earlier as well.
For sure. Yeah.
But yeah. And then here obviously just ult him. Okay, don't worry too much, but it is pretty sad what just happened there.
I have a question.
What's up?
In this situation, when he ran away from Garen and Jarvan, right?
Yeah.
In the bush. I think he could have killed the Jarvan here, no? Like at this point, not when he queued away, but like with the W.
Like if he sat in the bush and waited?
Yeah, waited and then W both into Q's, I don't know, Gold Drinker Smite maybe, and then ult.
Right, so
Wouldn't that
so
have
if you're Jarvan, you should be aware of that, right?
Yeah,
Right.
right.
So if I'm
That's the
Jarvan, I'm never
concept, I
walking
think,
to
yeah.
this position. I'm never walking. to this
Right.
position.
You're right.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's where like yes, you're not wrong, but if he waits like 0.5 seconds, just waits, Garen will get information on what Kayn is doing. Garen
True.
also probably has ult and will just one shot the Kayn. He'll just silence him and one shot him. Right.
Yeah.
Like what I was thinking the same thing as you. When I see this picture, most players were like, man, this guy's pretty dead. I think he's gonna face check me and whatnot. But like, it's good to not play for kills, but play for objectives. You have a kill's worth of gold and more EXP up here. It's not risky. You can restart the map with these guys. That's just a better way, a more consistent way to see the game. But it's good you bring up because that's what I'm thinking of. Like I'm literally thinking of here, like man, this guy's so fucking dead, right? Like I even like low key like wanted to kill him, but
Yeah.
self control about
That's
it,
right,
like
Lord.
these guys will get frustrated with what's going on. This guy's fully tree running away, and now I'm gonna chase him. Like look at this. This is so illegal for what Jarvan just did. Sorry you didn't kill him, but it is
Yeah,
really
no, it was
illegal.
a misplay. It was a
Yeah,
misplay.
yeah.
It's a good thing to review.
Okay, so the next sequence, the same thing in the mid game is all about making plays with your Caitlyn. Oh, what? We fought with Caitlyn. Fuck yeah! I'm sure it's gonna go good, better at least. Okay. Or they kind of hinted, but still, just the idea of like now you're like you're in an area where Caitlyn is, whether it was coincidence or not, it was better. This guy's a fucking ADC. He's a fed ADC. He has a lot of gold. Like, luckily you hold tab here, but normally. So one thing I will say for you, just as a note to keep in mind for yourself, is you not collecting information, like any information, which is why the fundamentals we talked about earlier of asking a question, right, gathering information about it, processing it, and thinking about it will help you focus on different things, different parts of the game, to decide what's important. But pretty much, there was a lot of times in this game where I wanted you to hold tab, I wanted you to look at waves, and you didn't do any of that, right? But in this game, as you can see, this guy is pretty strong. Morgana's not even that weak, right? Your Zed's not that weak, right? But pretty much, you want to fight with either of these guys, not with this guy. He has decent gold, but Singe is not a champion you like 2v2 with
I
necessarily.
don't want to fight with Singed anyways, even if he's strong.
Yeah,
Right? Like, I just want
there
to
you
let him
go.
do his thing.
Yeah, let him do his thing, exactly, and then go fight with Caitlyn or Zed. So the only case where like you would probably be forced to fight with Singed is if these guys are into, right? But it's on you to like, still play with the guy who's doing okay. But pretty much every fight in the mid game should be focused on objectives, not chasing kills, and playing with your strong teammates. So here it's a 3v1, right? So that's just what makes this play like really good. It's a face checking you and it's a 3v1. So go for it. Kill this guy. He's into-
Bard even helped us a little bit with that ult, I thought.
Yeah.
Like, he saved me from some damage from...
Yeah, they could have probably. Yeah, I guess you still have numbers, but yeah. The ult was too light from Bard. Okay, so going on here, so one thing is tracking your ultimates. So Zed has ultimates, but let's look at your position here. So I understand why you want a W there, but you need your W for a position like this. Imagine you just don't use your abilities, right? So one thing, just for every single elo, every single champion play, every single game you play, just hold your I guarantee you hold your abilities for 3 seconds longer than you normally would, you will get more value from the ability, especially in team fights.
That's something that comes... I'm in a coaching program. It's the same one Tui's in. I don't know if you're familiar with Tui, but the Sol2 program that...
Oh, you're in. Yeah. I just did a. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that's something he critiques me on a lot. Is like, you gotta hold your abilities longer. Like, you're using them too much, like way too soon.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm very aware of that. I
Cool.
do appreciate hearing it from another source, though.
Yeah. I just did a content piece with him on Viego, so
Oh, cool.
yeah, on his YouTube channel. So that's cool. It's a small world. Funny. Okay, but yeah. So at this point, right? So your teammates are ready to turn, and at this point, so one thing you always want to do in fights is count numbers, and you have to be able to do it fast. Otherwise, it'll be too late. 1 1 1. That's 3 1 1, right? And then you have Zed who can come over. That's instantly 4v2, right? Even this position by itself, 3v2. Okay, it's a more optimal fight than whatever shenanigans was going on here. Right now, you guys are fighting 2v3, right?
Right.
1 2 3 1 2. So now you're running away in a position where you're 2v3. This is already good, and now Zed is coming to you, and he gets hit by CC. The reason why I'm critiquing this so much is because look at all this time you wasted walking this way and then walking this way. That's so much time you wasted and like not interacting in the fight.
Yeah.
Not that it mattered in this case specifically. It's just the general rule of numbers.
Yeah, for sure.
And then here, so you still up numbers, but your teammates are kind of getting cooked a little bit. Not anymore. Okay. Singe comes down, sure. Objective, good. Focus the fucking objective, good. Here, okay, nice W. Can probably kill. Don't ult him. Oh,
Yeah, I think in this particular game is when I learned, I don't follow Rise of the ults.
no. You would have. You ulted too early. Watch. You came out almost instantly.
Oh, yeah.
If you stayed in, you would have. Oh, actually, did you get silence out of it? No, I don't think that works like that. You must have clicked
So
on.
I
think.
I dodged that Q.
Yeah, so pretty much you would have followed him, but you don't want to trade 1-for-1, especially in the mid game.
Right.
When Baron, imagine you die and you
Not
kill
worth it.
Rise, but you die.
Yeah.
You're just gonna lose Baron. It's not worth it.
Right.
So this play itself, like what you did here already is insanely good, right? Again, like we talked about that, right? Did you go top? Or no? That was I just had another session. But pretty much the point is, you got this guy low, you pretty much effectively killed this guy,
I should just
right?
be walking back up right now towards
Just
the
walk the
towards
fuck
the
away.
Baron.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Towards
Just
the
go to a
Zed.
safe spot. Baron, Zed, turret, whatever's safer. But you effectively killed this guy, so going for more is just risky. It's risky and greedy.
Yeah.
And then here it's probably goodbye Baron, right?
Yeah,
And then
I
goodbye
think
your hope.
honestly like that play is probably the game.
Yeah. So in mid game, it's less about like so people overcomplicate League of Legends just in general, especially jungle. It's less about making really smart decisions, and it's more about bro, just farm waves, just farm camps. The enemy will make mistakes. Punish the enemy when the mistake comes, but don't chase, don't overextend. It's literally just about self-control. The people who make the quote-unquote best choices, the best plays, they're literally not doing that much. They're just not inting. So the enemy will
They're just
int
chilling.
and will yes, you're literally just chilling. Like
Yeah.
you review higher elo games, solo queue games, and you're like, man, how is this guy like such good KDA, such high CS, like 10 kills? It's like, yeah, man, I just finished full clearing. The enemy invaded me because they were bored, and I killed him. Like I'm just playing League of Legends, right? So it's really just about like making good decisions that don't involve a lot of risk and have a lot of mistakes, especially in the mid game as a jungler because Baron's up, especially in the mid game. Cool. Okay, so we have. Damn, you're smurfing with the win rate. This is like me back in my day, bro. Trolling. You're better than me, okay? Oh, UNE. Fuck, I don't have an UNE account. Actually, wait. Can I look at it from EU West account? Maybe. Let me see. But yeah, do you have any questions? Do you want me to recap the thoughts, or you got it down?
No, that was good.
Cool. Okay.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. I'll look at a portion of this game, and then I'm going to um call it here. I hope you guys found this useful, found this valuable. Um. But yeah, normally I just end it off with any questions and like just reviewing whoever sent me something. Um. So yeah. Oh, Oto's not even here. Oh, the guy's not even here. Well, shit. I mean, I don't really have any other VODs to look at that's Kane specific. So unless you guys just want to chat about something, um, session's going on for an hour and 15. There's really not much more for me to do here, if I'm being honest.
I actually do have a question about that last game we just reviewed. Actually, now that I think about it.
Cool.
So looking at this comp, I know you said you liked Blue Cane better.
Cool. Yeah.
The reason I picked red over blue, and I know my runes are fucked up. That was a mistake. I meant to change my secondary runes. I don't know why I had domination secondary, but fucking the reason I did red cane is because I'm looking at my comp. And I'm looking at Singe. I know Singe is like kind of tanky, but he also doesn't really like engage with the team stuff that much. He like does his own thing. And so I thought they need somebody to kind of be a pseudo frontline. And that's why I picked red. You still like blue here better considering that?
Okay, so I think your thought process is on the right track. I don't want to discourage you there.
Sure.
I think you're overcomplicating it though.
Okay.
Like it's just not worth thinking about stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like at the level you are.
Yeah,
I think
okay.
like play to what's best for you, and once you're better, maybe you have a duo that you trust or something. Then you can worry about your team. But
Yeah.
for now, it's like no one in your team is going to be reliable, so it doesn't matter if you're the front line. Like it's like the truth to it. It doesn't matter. You want to put yourself in the best position you can, and you can carry. That's why
Okay.
when I see people fight like 5v5s and they try to 1v1 someone on the side, it's actually worse because that means you're letting your teammates fight 4v4 while you're fighting 1v1. So people have this tendency a lot to do this, especially on Shadowcane, to go and hunt someone 1v1. It's actually still not that good to do that unless like obviously it's really free. but you still want to fight with the team. You still want to do things with the team. You want to have the most impact. And most games, you have the most impact with Shadow Cane, just because of your E cooldown and just in general, you can snowball the game better.
Okay.
But you're on a good thought process. Don't get me wrong. It's just not really worth it for where you are.
I got you. That makes sense.
I have a question about Blue Cane here in this
Yeah.
comp.
What's up? Yeah.
If Garen gets fed, how do you like want to kill him as Blue Cane? I don't get it.
So your goal is not to
Like,
kill Garen,
he's
right? But
basically
if you can
unkillable.
kill Jinx and Ryze, or Jinx and Bard at least, because Ryze can probably go Zhonya's, if you literally just kill this Jinx by itself, you're gonna turn the fight pretty well, pretty into your favor. Because
and then Caitlyn just kites Garen.
like-
That's fine.
yeah, ideally your teammates are gonna do something. But imagine a world where you're 4v4 or 5v5, and you kill this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, and this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy dies, right? And you two are the only people alive. Just leave and go farm sideways.
Right.
Like the game could never end. That's fine. It doesn't matter. You don't need to kill this Garen, bro. I'm sure if you kill this guy or this guy in a fight, hopefully your teammates can do something. But it's not like you don't do any damage to Garen as Shadow Cane. Again,
Yeah, true. It's
If he
just
gets low, you can
harder
still
to
fucking-
fight Garen,
you
I
can-
think.
Yeah, you can still kill him if he gets low for sure.
And even if you're just fed off of his teammates, you can kill him pretty easy.
exactly, right? So you're gonna ideally be killing their bot side some more, getting some gold, and I mean, what like the more intense question is like, okay, they have an Ornn top or like a fucking I don't know Mundo or some bullshit like
Shogun or
Cassante.
something,
Yeah,
yeah.
some stupid shit like that. Serelda's Grudge is OP, guys. It's actually OP. And if you want, and you're even more concerned, your fourth item, go Black Cleaver. So you have Serelda's, Black Cleaver, Duskblade, and then like Manamune or Axiom Arc, and you will kill the tanks. I promise you. You'll also
So-
kill their ADC.
You don't think Cleaver's troll on blue?
Not if your goal is to kill the tank.
I see.
Right? Normally, yes, but like if you really need to kill their top lane Ornn because no one else can do it. Let's say you have like I don't know, just like low DPS champions, Ezreal, Zed. You know, just this is not a bad comp, but just switch Caitlyn for like Ezreal. Like, it's gonna be hard to kill like the enemy Ornn or the enemy Cassante. So going Black Cleaver is not bad because like we looked earlier, lol wiki Black Cleaver, you get a lot of stats.
Yeah.
30 haste is an insane amount. That's like the same amount as an Ionian boots. Ah shit, Ionian boots. I did not sell that right at all. How much is that? That's more haste than I thought. Okay, well, Lucidity got nerfed to shit shreds, but you get a shit ton of haste. The attack damage is actually a lot. So let's look at Axiom Arc. For example, let's say you're comparing Axiom Arc with this. You get 25 haste, 55 damage, so it is a bit more. You get lethality as well, so that's good. But the shred you get from this is also insane, and the HP you get, the survivability you get is insane. So the one thing in general, not just Kayn, but the one thing about like just League is like the more HP you have, the less risk there is. That's why Echo is kind of like cancer OP because you know you go in and you fuck up and you hit R and you restart the fight. Like it's kind of annoying. That's why Kayn kind of has a reset button too. You go in the fight. Let's say you get hit by a ability you shouldn't have gotten hit by. You smite ult someone and you live and you leave in the fight. So having more HP, especially when you're like 1v9 or trying to 1v9 the game, is like a really good option. Which is why I really like what am I saying? I really like HP on the champs, like Black Cleaver and Edge of Night. Okay. Cool. Anything else? Any other questions you guys have? Think about?
Yes, I have another question. About Rust.
Yeah.
What do you think about buying Spear of Sojin second?
Spear of Shojin second. That's actually an interesting one because Jarvan's been doing that recently. I don't know how much like stats you actually get. You know what I mean?
I
Like,
haven't
don't
done
know.
the math, to be honest.
Yeah, like I don't
It's-
know like how good it is, but on paper it sounds good.
You get
if
a
the
lot
enemy-
of ability haste is the thing. Like you can spam
Yeah.
Q like crazy.
Yeah, like on Jarvan you would do that if the enemy doesn't have like any tanks. So on paper it actually sounds pretty good. I would look into that more.
Do you ever
For sure.
do you ever run any type of lethality Rust?
So, okay, you know, funnily enough, like this is like 2020 when I first hit Challenger. There was a time where like no one was building like lethality rust, right? And I was like, bro, like this there's eclipse item. Like, what if I just fucked around and went lethality rust? And I did it, and I got into like a montage. I could find another time and post it, but I got into like a clip thing, and it was pretty insane. The problem with lethality rust is the same problem with Shadowcade. It's just that you're squishy, right? So it's less it's less forgiving if you make a mistake.
Yeah.
Shadow Rust, get hit by 10 abilities and you're chilling. But pretty much, if you want to have fun and you want to deal damage and surprise people, Lethality Ross is the funniest shit ever. So if you're ever trying to have fun, I think it's worth it.
There's actually I mean, he's Masters NA Kane that when he runs Rust, he almost always runs Eclipse into normal Red Kane items with Ghost instead of Flash. And he runs Red Smite and Domination secondary
Huh.
with Sudden Impact and Treasure Hunter, I believe. And
Wow.
I have his OPG somewhere. I don't have it on me. I don't know exactly where it is currently. But yeah, it's like super interesting. I've tried it out a couple times. It's not terrible. If you want to, if you have like a Rost game where they have a lot of mobility,
Right.
like it's I don't know, not completely troll, but like I do think Gordrinker's better. But
Yeah, it's just like more consistent. It's realistically like the
Yeah.
best way I look at it.
yeah, and I don't like overcomplicating the builds. I was just curious what your thought was.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
generally just go Gordrinker like 99% of Rost games, but
Yeah, and that's one thing to like you said it just now. Just really the game is not meant to be overcomplicated. If at any point it's feeling complicated, literally just go farm camps and like
yeah.
just chill out.
Like, especially for me personally, where I'm at in Gold 4, like I don't really give that much of a fuck about items. Like I do
Yeah.
put some thought into it, but like ultimately that's not what's keeping me in Gold 4. You know.
Yeah. Exactly. Um. .73, 5, 3.92. Yeah, it's actually not that much of a difference. 7.5, 5.88, 5.78, 5.59. So you reduce like 0.3 seconds
Well,
almost.
but doesn't Spirit
What about
Trojan have
the
the
health stat?
doesn't have an like when you hit people with shit, it reduces like gives you more ability haste. doesn't it?
No, it's when you're lower you gain move speed. It doesn't change the haste thing.
So this gain 18 ability haste.
But it scales with 80, right? The
I
ability
think
is.
so. So let's get like the stance. Yeah, it doesn't change it by too much. We went from 18 to 20. Let's buy an 80 item with no haste. Collector's a good one. So that reduced it by another point. Yeah. So without Shojin, it's 3.9. With Black Cleaver, it says 3.9, 3. Okay, I don't know how it did that. Then with Shojin and Collector, that's correct. 3.68. Yeah, I don't think it's worth it.
What about the health stats?
Let's compare
They
it.
differ.
350. So you're minus 10 base haste, minus 50 health. Don't get armor shred, and there is 15 more 80 because BF sword obviously.
Right.
But the big thing is this BF sword is really hard to buy in game.
It's also
That's, like,
the
one of the
armor
hardest
shred. I
things.
mean, the armor shred is. I mean, you can't really calculate
Yeah.
that. You know, like that gives you more damage, even against champions that aren't building armor. It's giving you more damage because they have
Yeah, well,
they have base armor.
Though the thing about Black Cleaver and your Q is like it procs 2 like instantly,
Right.
and with Q and Gore Drinker it's like it procs everything.
Yeah.
So the armor shred is the Black Cleaver is just I think it's just like too good, like almost too good.
It's so fucking good. It's such a good item.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I actually think it's like it's something to like maybe like experiment a little more if you really wanted to.
I've seen Karasmai build it in some videos, but like it doesn't seem like he ever actually does it when he's playing serious. He just did it.
Yeah.
Did it for content.
For content, probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck, I'm trying to find the clip, man. That was actually hype.
I've tried Spear of Shojin like a bit, and like it always felt like it just felt unimpressive to me
Yeah.
Honestly?
compared to Black Cleaver.
The only champ I like it on that I've experienced is Jarvan.
Yeah, I just play Kane. Like I'm a Kane one trick.
Yeah. So if you're a Kane guy, then yeah.
Cool, man. Well, thanks for doing this. I
All
appreciate
right.
it.
Yeah, for sure, man. For sure, everyone. If you guys don't have any other questions or anything, thanks for dropping by. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, this was really honestly, it
Um,
was really helpful.
Cool.
Actually,
Cool.
have a question if you have a second.
Yeah. What's up?
So I'm currently in the process of trying to get out of lower elos,
Sure.
and I was wondering, well, I have a macro question basically.
Sure.
In some of the games that I play, I find it tough to decide how to fix big problems that occur on the map pre-form. So like, for example, let's say like you're kind of on your second clear and your top laner has already died 2 or 3 times, and you think to yourself, I would sure love to fix that, but I'm still very far from form. Or possibly like say it's a blue Kane game, and like when you get form, you might be worried that you can't shut it down at all. So I guess that's generally my question is, for people that are in lower elos, how do you approach situations where one of your laners has just fed a lot and it's either you're gonna fix it or no one's gonna fix it?
Okay, so I actually I have many games that are like that show that like no matter what elo you're going to be in, you're going to have mythic teammates. So this game, like I went 16-1-6 and I'm playing Viego, and it's like, damn, how did I lose this game? Well, the reason why I lost this game is because if you look at my tab screen, I have a 310 guy, a 110 guy, and a 011 Nautilus. It's a challenger elo game, right? So like no matter where you are going to find teammates. To answer your question about the second clear thing, it's very realistic. Like let's say your top laner dies twice by the time you're on your second clear, so it's literally like 410. You're around top here. You're doing this camp, whatever it is, whatever side you are, and your top laner's died. It's not on you to fix any problem. That's not why jungle is a jungler. Like you're not meant to just like fix like such disasters. Let's say you got a successful bot gank and your top laner died twice. You want to just keep investing your time in making a bot play. And like just making sure that your bot lane can keep, progressing and playing the game. You realistically, let's say your top laner starts spam pinging you, or your top laner starts typing you're just like angry at you. Mute him.
Yep.
It's just it's what I call a feels bad syndrome. Like whenever I see a teammate like struggling, like yeah, I want to go help him, but it's just bad for the game. If you're trying to improve, you're trying to win the game, muting them, not letting them get to your head. You don't want to be like a feels bad jungler, feels bad syndrome jungler. You need to make your own decisions. So
Your job isn't to fix like broken lanes. Your job is to get yourself fed so that you can carry the game, especially on Kane.
Okay, that makes sense.
yeah, hope that
So
answers
the
your question.
general idea is to push the advantage on whatever part of the map you have an advantage with.
Yes.
I see. Thank you.
And pretty much if like let's say everyone is like inting, sometimes it's okay to like not interact with any lane. Just farm all your camps and maybe like what happens in all elos, even challenger, is you'll find games where people are really fed and they get too excited, they get bored, like they're winning too hard, and they'll int. They'll give your laners gold, they'll give you gold, they'll go invade you and kill themselves. Like you will have opportunity later on in the game to, get rewarded. So just don't fall into the trap of like ganking a lane that's really hard losing, especially if like someone's pinging you.
Ooh,
That is an unnecessary flash.
yeah. Okay, a lot of damage.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very fed.
Is Manamune good on Kazakhs?
Only if you have like the time. If okay, so if you can get away with like letting it stack up, it's the highest damage item you can buy on Kazakhs. But the
Hmm.
problem is like you lose tempo buying tier, right? So
Yeah.
when I bought the tier, I had like mythic plus 400 gold or something like that. So I figured, well, I will buy the tier, and if it goes late, I have like insurance. Because they have a team that I think scales pretty well, other than Renekton, right? Orianna, Eve, Zeri, all these champions want to go late game.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, I think it's fine.
so that was my logic, but I normally do not build it. I'm also running Ingenious Hunter, so it stacks faster.
Hmm.
Like not for that reason am I running Ingenious Hunter, but because I'm running it, it is like side benefit.
Yeah. Okay.
So it was like I think I should be shadowing Udyr because I feel like Skarner is harder for them to kill actually.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean you can see the damage, right? Like it's really high.
Yeah, it is. Okay. Why are you running away?
Um,
Man, you guys can do Baron. Like, or at least break the tower or force something. You guys could do the Baron, like
you
definitely.
think we could do Baron here? I guess Oriana's bot, but she has TP.
Yeah, like so I mean you guys can like just make her TP and then go away or fight after or just
Oh,
bait
okay.
them into the Baron, like do something,
Mm-hmm.
You could like control all the vision, and then if they go on your vision, you guys just go on them and kill all of them.
I see.
You should
If
definitely
I was
force
here, if
something.
I was here for this, their whole team would get aced.
Yeah.
Like they would already probably be dead.
Hmm.
Instead, I only end up getting like one kill here, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, you guys could get Baron in the game if you just go Baron before.
Yeah.
And now because this took so long, Oriana could like break 2 towers and didn't even like expand her TP. And on kills was like even, for both teams, even. Whoa.
Damn that damage.
Yeah. I mean, I have like 360 AD, so
Yeah,
she's behind.
what about pink wards? Why don't you buy any of like none
I
of
should be
pink?
buying fake words, especially because it's Eve, right? Like,
Yeah, but yeah,
but
not
for
because
objectives.
yeah, should be buying more pink wards. The fuck Cyrus bought.
Hey, Zyra's raging at me. I just into here.
Hmm.
I muted Zyra, so I don't know what she was still saying. But I do know she was raging at me earlier, so I had to mute her.
Yeah, but
I
we
I
already.
found my first control word. The
Yeah,
25 minutes into the game.
yeah, this is not good.
Yeah.